Flash of Eternity. Part 3. The Fracture in Time. The crack in the sky kept growing. At first, it was just a thin trail of light. Now it stretched across the entire horizon. Even the Academy's professors couldn't explain it. They called it an anomaly, a magical rift, a temporal disruption. But I knew it was time itself, refusing to keep the secrets of others any longer. With each passing day, everything became stranger. On the plazas, ghostly silhouettes began to appear, fragments of the past. Sometimes they were people, sometimes entire cities, flaring for a moment and vanishing like mirages. At night, the stars whispered. Yes, whispered, and those who listened too long lost their sanity. As for me, I began to remember more and more, not just a past life, but what came before it, before the fall of the stars, before the first circle of time itself. Lyriel came to me every evening. We sat on the roof of the Academy's old tower, watching the light from the fracture reflect on the lake. Sometimes she asked, "Why were we brought back?" And every time I gave the same answer: to finish what we started. But I still didn't know what that was. On the third day after the fracture appeared, the disappearances began. Students, professors, they simply dissolved, as if someone had cut them out of reality. In their place, only a faint shimmer remained, the echo of a memory. I went to the hall of the Archmage's Council. The others were already there, the rector, the elemental guardians, several senior students. Everyone was tense. "This isn't a spell," one of the mages said. "The flow of time is torn." "We can't stop the current. Someone broke the ancient seal," another added, "the one that kept balance between worlds." I stood in the shadows, silent. I knew who had done it, but if I spoke, they would destroy Lyriel. The rector turned to me. "Aaron, you were in the archive recently. What did you find?" "Only dust and old records." "Don't lie." His voice was cold as ice. "I can feel the mark of ancient magic on you." I lifted my gaze. "Then say it plainly, Rector. What are you hiding from us?" Silence filled the hall. Then the old man said the words I didn't expect. "We knew time would close. We knew the one who died beneath the stars would return." He stepped closer. "And now we must make sure you never remember." The mages began reaching for their spells. But at that moment, the sky trembled. Light poured through the fracture, thick as liquid, blinding and cold. Shadows emerged within it. At first, I thought it was an illusion. But then I heard their footsteps, beings of ash, those who had burned with me in my past life, my enemies, my friends, my army. They were returning. Screams filled the hall, spells flared and died. I felt the old instinct awaken inside me. Magic I hadn't touched since my rebirth. Flame touched my palm and the air quivered. "Lyriel!" I shouted, but there was no answer. I forced my way through the light and ran outside. The Academy was burning. Stone bridges collapsed. Water from fountains streamed upward instead of down. The world had gone mad. And amidst the chaos, she stood, Lyriel. Her hair whipped in the wind, and fragments of magical seals shimmered around her. In her hands was the amulet, the same one that had opened the archive. "I remember," she said, not looking at me. "What?" "Why you died, and why I couldn't." She raised her eyes. They were a different color now. Sky blue, the eyes of Liara. "You were meant to destroy this world, but I stopped you." "That's impossible." "It's possible, because I loved you." The light from the fracture engulfed us both. Everything vanished. When I awoke, there was silence. No voices, no people. Only ash and endless sky. The fracture was now directly above me, and from it fell glowing dust. Lyriel lay beside me, unconscious. I touched her hand. It was cold, and then I heard the same voice that had called me in dreams. "Everything returns, Aaron. Everything, except what you've lost." I looked up. In the reflection of the fracture, I saw myself, but not as I am now. Older, stronger, the one who once died beneath the stars. And he was smiling. Silence, not the kind that comes at night, nor the kind that follows battle. This one was different, alive, listening. I stood upon an endless plain covered in ash and light. The sky here was not a sky. It breathed as if time itself were watching me. Everything around me felt like a dream, yet far too vivid to be one. Beside me, on her knees, lay Leoriel. I touched her shoulder gently. Her skin was cold as stone, yet soft. After a few moments, she opened her eyes. "Where are we?" she whispered. "I don't know. But it's not our world, and not the one that came before. This is the place between," she said, her voice trembling. "I've read about it. A realm where time doesn't flow, where those who are rejected by both life and death come." She rose with effort. Before us stretched an infinite plain, and on the horizon stood shadows, vast and motionless like monuments. They resembled people, but without faces. I felt the air vibrate. The magic here was different, cold yet pure. It resonated within me, familiar and ancient. "So this is the place where everything begins and ends," I said, "the archive of all fates." We walked for what felt like forever. There was no day or night here. The light was everywhere and nowhere. Time did not move, but our thoughts did. Sometimes I saw flashes, fragments of memory, a city burning in flames, a girl standing by a cliff, myself among the stars, holding not a sword, but my own heart. Leoriel suddenly stopped. Before her appeared a mirror, not of glass, but of light. She looked into it, and I realized it wasn't a reflection. It was the past. "That's me," she whispered, "but not like this." In the mirror stood Liara, her former self. In her eyes burned the same blue fire I remembered. She looked straight at us and spoke, though her lips did not move. "If you're here, the circle has closed. Aaron must not remember everything. His power will tear the foundations of time apart. You must choose Leoriel took a step closer." "Choose what?" "Yourself." Or him I tried to speak, but the mirror burst into light, and before me appeared him, the one I used to be, tall, clad in ashen armor, eyes the color of a scorched sky. My past self. "At last," he said. "We meet, Aaron." "I'm not you," I replied. "I'm different." "You're wrong. You're only an echo, a copy of the one who died beneath the stars." He stepped closer, and the ash beneath his feet began to glow. "I created this circle to fix the mistake. But you ruined it when you let her. Liara, interfere." I felt anger and fear. Why did you do all this? The rebirths, the rifts, the time fracture? Because the world couldn't be saved. It was already dead, Aaron. We're just walking through its shadows. He extended his hand. "Give up the power. Let it end." Leoriel stepped between us. "No!" "He won't. You just want to close the circle again." "It's the only way," the old me said calmly. "Without an end, there is no beginning." She looked at me. "Aaron, if you give him your power, you'll disappear. But maybe the world will live." I said nothing. The world or her. How many times had I made that choice? How many times had I lost her to save others? The plane trembled, ash rose in a whirlwind, and the sky split apart, revealing a path back to life. The voice of my former self echoed through the roaring light. "Choose, Aaron. And remember, every choice is someone's sacrifice." I took Leoriel's hand. I'm done choosing between past and future. This time, I'll decide what remains. We leapt into the light. When I opened my eyes, I felt the wind again. We were standing on a mountaintop beneath a familiar sky. But the sky was different, as if someone had erased part of its stars. The academy was gone. Only ruins and silence remained. Leoriel stood beside me. She still held my amulet, now cracked. "Did we return?" she asked. "I don't know. Maybe it's a new circle. Or the last one." I looked toward the horizon where the sun was slowly rising. "If this is a new world," I said softly, "then maybe this time we won't be heroes." She smiled faintly. "Maybe we'll just live." But somewhere in the distance, within the ashen clouds, a familiar silhouette appeared once more. My old self. He stood at the edge of the light, watching us. And I knew The story wasn't over. At first, everything seemed real. The sky was soft, morning blue. The air, fresh, like before the rain. Birds sang as if nothing had ever happened. We woke in a small house on the edge of the city. The same city that had once burned. Now it stood whole, clean, shining. People laughed in the streets. Merchants shouted in the squares. Everything was alive. Too alive. I stepped out onto the porch and stared at the sun. Its light was even. No glare, no warmth. And suddenly I realized there was no wind. The leaves swayed, but the air did not move. Like in a painting. Lyriel came out behind me. You can't sleep? I can't. Something's wrong. She looked at the city. Too calm, right? Too perfect. We walked into the city. People smiled. Everyone. Even those who never smiled. I saw familiar faces. Students of the academy, the rector, even those who had died during the fracture. All alive, all silent about it. Welcome home, Erin, said a passerby, shaking my hand. We've been waiting for you. How do you know my name? Everyone knows. There are no strangers here. A chill ran down my spine. By evening, we returned to the house. I tried to open a book, but there was none. No amulet, no trace of magic. Nothing but the steady light outside the window. Maybe this is the reward, Lyriel said softly. Maybe we really did save the world. Maybe. But where are the stars? She lifted her gaze. The sky was blank, smooth, like a washed canvas. Not a single star. I understood. This isn't the world. It's a copy, a reflection? Yes. Whoever created time wanted to give us peace. But peace cannot live without pain. Lyriel turned away. And now what? We find the edge. That night, I woke to a faint sound. On the wall above the bed, a crack had appeared, a thin line of light, the same one that had once split the sky. Luminous dust dripped from it. I touched it, and the room vanished. In an instant, I was back on the plane between worlds. But now, there was no one. No shadows, no light. Only a voice. You're still looking for a way out, Erin? Who are you? I am the one who gave you time. And the one who takes it away? Why all this? So you'd understand, salvation is impossible without accepting loss. The voice faded, and I woke again in the house. Lyriel sat by the window. I saw it too, she said. The crack. Then the world is falling apart. Or they're calling us back. We were silent for a long time. Outside, the city still glowed. People laughed, children ran. But now I saw there were no reflections in their eyes. Not a single one. I looked at Lyriel. We have to leave. Where? To the source. To the one who made this circle. She nodded. Then we begin again. When we left the city, the sun hung motionless. It didn't move. No shadows, no wind. Only even, endless, blinding light. We walked for a long time. And soon, ahead, a silhouette appeared. The old me. He stood at the cliff's edge, smiling. Again? I asked. Until you truly choose, the circle won't end. He stepped aside, and behind him opened a passage, dark, pulsing, like the living heart of the world. Beyond this threshold, there is no past, no future. Only truth. And the price? Everything you love. Lyriel took my hand. We've paid that price already, Erin. Maybe it's time to take something back. I looked into the abyss. It called to me. Then let's go, I said, and see if eternity has an end. We stepped forward, and the light went out.